I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show.
Cardboard trees, the painted seas, the sound here. Yes, a world to rediscover.
Mr. DeMille, she's ready for her close-up. After winning a Tony Award for playing Cher, Stephanie J. Block is taking on another diva, faded screen star Norma Desmond. It's the concert presentation of Sunset Boulevard at the Kennedy Center. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
The atmosphere is thrilling here as always. Feel the early morning madness. Feel the magic in the making.
You are a humble, talented actress who has taken on these diva roles. I mean, we actually just got to see you in Into the Woods, where you got to be every woman. But now we're back in Cher mode, right?
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah, just jump back in.
Yep.
Back into the star mode.
Yeah, it takes a posture, it takes a confidence, but the beauty of this confidence is it's just fueled by so much insecurity and so much doubt. And, you know, when you hit a certain age, as I have hit, that sort of underbelly of Norma, I think, is very real for me as well. I just wanted to really make sure she was always human, even though it will hit all of the marks of theatricality and over the top. She has a mental health issue, you know, but something caused that. There's something real that happened. And in talking to Sammy, I said, I would like to hope that if there was the right medication or trauma therapy in the 1930s or 40s or 50s, this story could have ended differently. It really could have had a different story, but they didn't have any language for mental health back then. So she's defined as crazy and maniacal and imbalanced, and I'm hoping to find moments of joy and deep insecurity, but a humanity that the audience at the end will go, oh, crap, I wish this could have ended differently.
Trembling now, you can't know how I've missed you. Missed the fairy tale adventures in this ever-spinning playground. We were young together.
It's so interesting to me. I've been thinking a lot recently about how Broadway has traditionally cast a lot of leading lady iconic roles older. You're actually young for this role in the history of the show.
I can't wait to correct you.
Oh, really?
I'm older than Glenn when she first did it. I'm older than Betty when
No
she
way.
first did it. Yep, they were all in their late 40s. And the script itself says Norma, a 50-year-old woman.
Look at you Dreamcast.
5-0, baby. Right on the money. So that has been something that I know has been chitter-chattery.
So they were too young.
They were younger than I was. But you know, with the costumes, the music itself, I think her sort of sensibility and physicality, it can lend itself to looking a little older or feeling perhaps a little older. The 50, in 1950, when the play takes place, it did look different. I can think of my Grandma Marie and my Grandma Marguerite, you know, with their little cigarette cases and the gray hair and the brooch. And I'll look at pictures and be like, oh my gosh, how old is Grandma Marguerite here? My dad's like, I don't know, 42, 43, and my jaw drops. So it's just a different understanding, I think, of age. But I will say that, you know, there's a line in the play that says, nothing has changed. And I do feel a little bit like that with the age of it all, or the weight gain of it all, or the desperate attempts to keeping ourselves young instead of gracefully embracing, here we go, we're on the road to aging. I think that's kind of a timeless story, and it will resonate today just as it did when this first played in the 90s, or just as it did for Norma in the 30s and the 40s.
We're kind of led to believe that Norma Desmond has been ensconced in this mansion with Max for decades, because her career, when the talkies came in, just sort of went away.
Yeah, she became a bit of a recluse.
And you talk about like mental health. I mean, can you imagine? You're a performer who loves to perform. I'm sure even when you have a couple of years between projects.
Or COVID. when we were all in our homes,
right.
and all we desperately wanted to do was get out and socialize and be and belong.
Yeah.
This woman hasn't belonged anywhere in a very long time. There is a scene in the movie that I'd like to hold on to where a lot of old silent film stars come and play cards like once a week.
Yeah.
So she still has a bit of a touch of whatever's going on outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, to maintain that this is her protected world, she is still a star within these walls, and if she leaves it, something could shatter, something could break, you know, the illusion could no longer exist.
So COVID actually gave you a little bit of an in.
A lot. Actually.
Interesting.
A lot. When Jeffrey Finn asked, what project would you like to do? For the score, for my age, but also that sense of isolation and fear, and of course the lyrics of the song, Never Said Goodbye, you know, it's all about re-engaging and re-entering, and that was one of the things, those lyrics ran through my head that I thought, this might be a good time to sing this out.
So much to say, not just today, but always.
These songs, I'm a big Andrew Lloyd Webber fan.
Me too.
It's like his quiet masterpiece, where it's not the first one people mention,
Right.
but With One Look, I mean, the lyrics of With One Look literally sums up everything. With One Look, I Can Break Your Heart, you know.
Everything in a 2.5-minute song.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, it's just stunning
And
work.
the way this score is supported by his orchestral brilliance, so every emotion is supported and uplifted, which I feel is very satisfying as a singer. It's going to be very satisfying for an audience. I can't wait to hear the orchestra. It is my hairiest part right now. It's where I'm getting stuck because you kind of have to jump in 150% with this very short rehearsal process. But in doing so, I'm losing the music and going, oh, crap, I was supposed to start this motion here in order for everything else to continue. Because it's like an operetta. It's underscored pretty much through the entire 2.5 hours, 2:40.
Yeah.
So you've got to hit those musical marks or else things start to fall apart. And that's the hardest thing for me thus far. I'm hoping when I hear the orchestra, there'll be a glissando or some sort of instrument where I go, oh, there it is. That's where I'm supposed to do that. But right now I'm getting lost and screwing up a lot of people along the way.
Is it fun to get the opportunity to put your stamp on some of these songs that we've heard so many fantastic performers do?
It really is thrilling. And I have, of course, immersed myself in Glenn and Betty and Patty. And even though there is a common thread, their voices, all of them, are so singular that it really is a different storytelling depending on the placement, the tone, the emotional, weight that is being held when they're singing, that it allowed me a sort of sense of freedom to say, it's okay. You can blend and do what you need to do, Steph, to make this happen and make it right for you. I do think Sammy is creating something really special in the way of the misogyny of it all and the point of view of this story being told by a young, white, 20-something cis male that we're gonna flip it on its head just a little bit.
This world waited long enough. I've come home at last, and this time will be bigger.
I'm curious because we see Norma in the show manipulating, like literally plotting a comeback. So you really see an actress who is sort of
hustling.
and she's hustling. And I'm wondering about you. How is your relationship with the industry? Has it shifted at all since the Tonys, or do you feel any sort of you just said Jeffrey came to you and said,
Yeah.
what show would you like to do?
Right, and that is a very, very special and unique thing.
Yeah.
I find that my path wasn't how I ever dreamed it when I was a preteen or in my 20s. But because I've been around a couple decades now, relationships are key to everything. And if you can talk to someone on a human level, and then you can start mentioning business, ideas, hopes, perhaps in 2025, doesn't that sound like the effing future? It's a little scary. But in 2025, maybe this project can happen. I'm all about that now. I think it's important, even if you're dismissed, even if it's a no thank you, to voice what you would like to create and with whom you'd like to create it. I met with Sammy, and this is why I chose her. in choosing directors, first of all, I wanted a female director. I think that point of view and that sensibility was just going to help this storytelling. And then when I heard Sammy's age, I was like, oh no, she's not gonna know what this plight is or what this story is. But I chatted with her and she was so remarkable, grounded, smart. And at a certain point, I was like, I thought you were perhaps gonna be too young. And she goes, and that's ageism, which is the same story as Norma. It's just turned. And at that moment, I was like, and you're hired. Because she was thinking and looking at things in a different way that even I wasn't looking and thinking like. And I think that was important to bring into the room. This different energy, this different sensibility, and it has brought a different and beautiful and new angle of telling the story.
Finally, there's been a lot of talk of making a movie of
I've
this movie
heard.
musical, and I know Glenn Close has been working on doing this.
Yes.
I years ago had my own dream cast lists for this film, and ironically, Liza Minnelli and Cher were both on that
You're
list.
kidding.
Because I would kill to see either one of those.
Can anyone speak to this with more truth and authenticity than the two women you just named?
And you have famously
Oh boy.
portrayed both of these women. I'm wondering if...
I'm praying, hold on, I'm praying to the gods right now. I'm summoning my goddess of Cher and Liza. Oh my gosh. Who's making this film, do we know? Warner Brothers, Sony, 20th Century?
I forget.
Does this look natural?
It's your screen test, you're on.
That's so wild. I think Cher could do this brilliantly.
Can you maybe deliver one line from each of them? Oh, come on.
Oh my God, I hate that word. It's not a comeback, it's a return. I would be terrific. It's a comeback, not a return. I'm way out of practice with Liza.